Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement
Yo, what is up, Purple Sector? It's been a while, boys. It's been a while.
Come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race?
We're back for a little bit of Monza action with the Purple Sector Racing League. It's going to be my debut for commentary, so yeah, let's find out how that's going to go. So I did miss quali, so I don't really know how the grid's lining up at the minute. But let's see what we can work out from the start and see how this race goes. Just going to turn my own lights out, get a bit of ambience in the room. So we've got Badman starting from the front. And we are off. So Badman leads the pack charging down, but he gets overtaken by Clen and Gida after having a slow start. He slipped down to 4th. We've got some big changes. Rex has moved up a position. C-Max going down. Here we go. The race is just getting started. Wonderful start from Clen. G-Dot's made a fantastic start there after having a little incident in the previous race. Of course, he wasn't found to be at fault for that incident, but nevertheless, he was still involved. Of course, the counterpart in that incident, who was Scott, is exactly behind him. So we'll see if Scott's a little bit more aware to come in following him. You know, he might hang back from him slightly, going around some of the slower corners. We've got White Shadow keeping up the rear of the pack there. He's managing to hold on, along with John, Drauga, Matty Pitt, and then Badman that slipped from 1st to 7th. He's had a dreadful opening lap, but he's the type of racer that's got the pace to be able to take it all the way round and challenge for a finish come the checkered flag. Here we go, boys, here we go. So no real kind of action on that opening lap apart from the loss of positions for Badman. Let's have a little look there and see if we can get some graphics up for positions gained. Let me see what's what. I'm going to get this track map on as well to see what's going on. So Rexy Boy's the real winner on that opening lap, taking 4 positions. Now G-Dot's managed to get himself right onto the back of Clen here, so coming down this DRS section, he's really going to give him a go going into turn 1. And I'll be honest with you, I think he'll get him. You can see Clen's back light winking at Acero as he's trying to harvest some energy to combat the fight from G-Dot. So G-Dot's got his ERS and DRS fully deployed, but the turn 1's going to come a little bit too quick for him. He's not going to be able to get him this time. Little lock up there from Clen. So Badman's dropped down again. He's dropped down even further. What's happened here? It looks like he's been involved in an incident. Yeah, it looks like he's been involved in an incident there with somebody. It's probably going to either have been C-Mac or Matty Pitt, just judging on positions. Here we go with Scott and Ernie. Rexy, sorry, I beg your pardon. Scott's already passed. Bear with me, guys. It is my first time commentating. So Rexy has managed to hold off that fight, but at what expense is it going to cost him? Because again, you can see his red light flashing there as he's trying to harvest some energy. Ernie's got 30% battery. Wow, that seemed to be far too easy. Here we go, boys. This looks wonderful. What an angle. To see so many cars. 6 cars just charging it down into turn 1. All within around about a second of each other. And there we go. C-Max lost it as well. Choosing to ignore the arrows and just go round the boards there. That was a bit different. So if you are new to the channel, guys, or new to the league indeed, you won't know that we normally have around about 20 drivers racing for the majority of races, but since the Christmas break there seems to have been a big change, myself included. But we're only getting about half of the league turn up for races at the moment, which is a little bit of a disappointment. You know, really we want to see everybody on the grid, we want to see full competition up and down. But you can already see that Badman's starting his comeback here. It was roughly 3 seconds behind John. He's got that down to under 2 right now, so he's probably made up around about 1.5 seconds this lap on John. And it's not going to be too long before Badman is on the back of White Shadow and John. Trying to capture all the best bits here, guys, switching up and down the pack, but I want to see if Badman will make a challenge going into turn 1, but I think again it's going to come a little bit too soon for him and he's not going to be able to get there. Oh, but we got some late break in there from Mr. White Shadow, who's lost places, and it looks like he might have tapped the back of Badman there, just judging by the way that Badman's car reacted. But we'll see if there's a report after the race. So all the action seems to be towards the middle front of the pack at the minute. So we'll ride on board with Matty Pitt, the league owner, and see what kind of attempt of an overtake he can put up against Ernie. So a lot of the lads seem to be using their ERS quite a heck of a lot, you know. They're getting to the end of the lap and having nothing left. They really are burning through it. But then of course the problem that you've got by doing that is that when you get to this start finish straight, you've got nothing other than your DRS to attack with. So we've had a pit there from one of the front 2, from G-Dot. So he's going to make the pack act, see if they're all going to respond. I've been suffering with a little bit of cold and flu recently as well, guys, this last week. I'm still getting over it. Oh no, G-Dot has really cooked it coming out of the pits there. He's just gone far too deep into the corner on cold, hard tyres. He's really not done himself any favours there. That's going to end up costing him. So we're going to get a bit of action going on here with Matty Pitt. I think Matty's going to really try going into turn 1 this time around. But again, he's got no battery left. Scott's pretty much got, well, 2/3 of his left, but he's got nothing to worry about. Oh, he's going to go in the pit himself, so he's reacted to G-Dot going in. Nobody else fancies it. Let's see if he can get a good pit stop here. Not too bad at all. Where have we got G-Dot coming round? So G-Dot's just coming down the start finish now. So I think Scott is going to get out in front of him, and he has done indeed. No, he hasn't. He's at the back. I do beg your pardon. Wow. You can tell that I'm a novice at this. Didn't get the right angle. Didn't get the right camera angle from the game there, guys. seems to be quite a few breaks in the pack now. You know, people are starting to get a bit more spread out as these pit stops are starting to happen. You know, I think there's only 2 people on the track at the moment that are within DRS range of anybody else, and that's just changed to 1. And here you go, is your man Drauga going for an overtake on Rexy Boy. Is he going to hold? He's held it. Let's get some on board. Here we go. Drauga is going to get this overtake done, I think. But is it going to be done on this lap? It isn't to be on the first corner. John with a 10 seconds speeding in the pit lane penalty. That is going to come to damage him at the end of the race. And we've got the race leader, Clen, in. Just been overtaken by G-Dot. So G-Dot's idea to go into the pits earlier has paid off very, very well for him. Because although he lost time coming out of the pit, he's gained it up on having better tyres, and the front runners keeping up for another lap or 2 on the same tyres. But that will potentially come back to Clem later on in the race. So we've got a red flag, we've got a yellow flag here. One of the red cars involved, I do believe. Rexy seems to be moving a bit gingerly. Can we notice any damage to his vehicle at all? So it looks like we're going under yellow flags, lads. Here we go. Is this going to cause a lot of the other cars to pit? So we've got Ernie in the pit. We've got Matthew Pitts in the pit. Rexy Boy is surely going to follow, and he does. And we've got Drauga turning in, and White Shadow is coming around the final corner. If he doesn't go in, I'll be extremely surprised. Wow, he's opted not to pit. But that is because he looks like he's already on the hard tyres. See if we can get some tyre detail. So there we go. Yeah, White Shadow is already on the hards. He started on the hards, and that's exactly what happens, lads. If you join a race late, if you don't sit in qualifying, you don't make the start of the race, you don't see what strategies people are on. Wow, C-Mac picking up a 3-second time penalty, and you don't want to be doing that under yellow flag conditions. So John and C-Mac, the only 2 drivers to have penalties at the moment, whereas John's just lost. He's serving it in the pit. So yeah, that maybe has come at a good time for him. Do beg your pardon, guys. I've just had a bit of a coughing fit there, so I've been coughing for a good 5 minutes. So I've been on mute for a little while there. I do apologise about that. But I was saying to myself whilst on mute that the pit stops have brought the pack all into one another again. The DRS gaps have really closed up tightly. We've got G-Dot right on the back door of Matty Pitt here, and I'd be surprised if Matty Pitt's able to hold on to this. G-Dot's pulled out of it. It's a wise move. Very dangerous corner to take tight. G-Dot was well within his rights to go up the inside of Matty Pitt there, but I think he would have compromised both of them for time. And what's the point of gaining a position if you're going to lose time over the cars ahead? Clem picking up 3 seconds now as well, so the early discipline hasn't been great in these first 11 laps. We've got yellow flags there, quickly changed back to green. Rexy Boy looks to be doing his best to get onto the back of G-Dot there, his teammate. But again, I think it's just going to come a little bit too late, and this DRS train's going to pull away from Rexy Boy, unfortunately. Yeah, you can see the gap there going up. He's lost around about half a second there, roughly. Oh, and we've got a connection there between G-Dot and Matty Pitt. A little bit of side-to-side action from the two drivers. Will G-Dot fight back? Will he try to go down the inside unlike last time, or will he just sit back and hang tight? My money is that he's going to sit back and hang tight until he gets him on a nice long straight. Here we go. White Shadow with a 10 seconds now. The discipline is terrible. Here comes G-Dot trying to mount a charge, trying to get some of that time back. Matty Pitt trying fiercely to stay within DRS range of Scott, and it looks like he's going to do it. So up to now, Badman isn't making the impression that he probably hoped he would have made at this stage in the race. Obviously, he's still down in 9th position. He has pitted, but so has everybody else. Apart from the hard starters, of course. G-Dot very late on the brakes again there, and just able to bring his car to a stop in time to make the corner. G-Dot's at real risk here of getting out of DRS range if he does have a bad connection on corners going through this section of the lap. You've really got to make it tight around here and maintain your speed to make sure that the cars up ahead don't just flow away into the distance. Lovely, he's taken it perfectly. Here we go again. So Matty Pitt is currently out of DRS range, but he is forcing that ERS to get him back into it. Right, here we go. I think Matty Pitt has exhausted his options. And he's just made it, I believe. Was he there at the detection point? Apparently, no, he wasn't. So Rexy has now overtaken G-Dot, so something must have happened there. I'm trying to make coverage on every driver in the race, but there seems to be some big gaps throughout the field until you get to position 4 down to position 7. So So you can see there Ernie's got a 3.5 second gap over Clen, and Clen has roughly the same time over Scott Leslie. So Matty Pitt is definitely going to be out of the DRS range this time around. 1.3 seconds, 1.4 seconds almost behind Scott. And Rexy is hot on his heels with his teammate G-Dot following in the not too far distant. So it looks like the Ferrari boys are going to mount an attack on Matty Pitt here together. They're certainly going to have the better run going down the start-finish straight, that's for sure. Matty Pitt again with no ERS. He's exhausting all of his ERS before he gets to the start-finish. And Rexy boy goes flying past. Can G-Dot join him? No, he can't. G-Dot must have had a terrible last corner again. What is G-Dot playing at here? He just doesn't seem to be working out for him up to now. And you see there he loses traction coming round turn 1. G-Dot hasn't helped himself there at all. Might rely on a little bit of help from Rexy to back Matty up a little bit, but then that's going to potentially leave Rexy at risk. One thing we do know about Rexy is that he does like to set his cars up for straight line speed, so he will have a lot in the tank when it comes to going down the start-finish straight. That was lovely and smooth from Matty Pitt there. But not there. He got the first part of the corner tremendous, and then the second part he cocked it right up. Is that going to give G-Dot any chance of getting anywhere near him? G-Dot's closer to Matty than Matty is to Rexy. But the front three are certainly pulling away now. If Rexy, Matty and G-Dot want to have any chance of challenging for a podium, they might have to work together rather than against each other. Let's have a little look and see what C-Mac is up to. See if he's mounting any kind of charge to try and track down Drauga. For anybody that doesn't know, Drauga is the resident Jew of the league. But we don't hold nothing against him for that. He's currently 2.6, 2.7 behind Drauga. Will he be able to take any chunk out of that? Because from what I saw last time, Drauga doesn't have any battery. Here we go with G-Dot. G-Dot is right hot on the heels of Matty Pitt this time around. And I do not think Matty Pitt is going to be able to put up much of a fight here. Here we go, here we go. G-Dot's got to get the exit. He has to get the exit. Matty Pitt is pitting. Wow. So Matty Pitt's pitting with 11 laps to go. We've got a few in there. Clen, Scott, C-Max followed in. So I personally think that the undercut's going to be quite strong here. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when these come out of the pits. And wow, what's going on there from Matty Pitt? Maybe his wife just walked into the room to give him that kind of reaction. He just was all over the place. He seems to have got it back together now. Let's follow down with John. See what John's up to. John seems to be having a bit of a quiet race here. You know, he's not really not really with anybody, to be fair to the lad, unfortunately. Him and White Shadow seem to have been left behind quite a bit, which is a shame, but you know, that's racing. So there's Ernie's pit. So let's have a look and see where Clen is and if he's going to have any chance of coming out in front of Ernie, because like we said, the undercut can be quite strong here. I didn't see the exact time difference, but we'll see what happens. So there we go. There you have it, guys. There you have it. Kleners regains the lead. The Ferrari boys don't look like they pitted. Let's have a check on there just to make sure I'm not wrong again. So yeah, as I thought so, the Ferrari boys haven't gone for a pit. Maybe they're going to try and make a one-stop work. But is that possible? I'm not too sure. Let's have a quick look at the penalties there. So we've got John with 6. So White Shadow will be chomping at the bit to try and chase John down. He's only got 1.2 seconds to make up at the minute to be able to take that position off him on penalties. Badman looks like he might be preparing an overtake on C-Mac. He's certainly knocking temps out of the gap to C-Mac, that's for sure. So again, let's ride on board with Matty Pitt, see how he's getting on, and see how he's going to come out, whether it's going to be in front of this Ferrari or not. And I personally think it's going to be miles in front of it. So the Ferrari's just coming up to the speed limiter line now, and there he goes. Matty Pitt has gone flying past him. Matty Pitt is well away. But look at that gap. The gap now is 3.8 seconds, and it was under a second before, so really and truthfully, G-Dot should have followed Matty in to have half a chance. But is that extra lap or two going to give him the fight at the end of the race? That remains to be seen. Of course, Matty Pitt has got a 3-second penalty, so that's going to come into play as well. But we're back with a race leader now, Rexy boy. Surely Rexy's got to come in at the end of this lap. I'd be extremely surprised if he doesn't. He's still got 8 laps to go. He's got around about 12 seconds advantage over Scott. And to be honest with you, I think Scott will take that 12 seconds out of him if Rexy continues to run on these old tyres. But Rexy seems to have Lewis Hamilton-like tendencies when it comes to keeping the tyres in good nick. So Rexy might make it go all the way until the end to see if he can give himself a chance at being on the 2nd or 3rd step of the podium. Badman there with the fastest lap of the race, and you can see that lead that C-Mac had has been cut down to 1.4 seconds. So Badman definitely will be preparing some kind of savage attack in the next couple of laps. And it looks like he hasn't got Drauga too far ahead of him as well, so maybe he could get both cars coming up potentially. We'll see what happens there. We're back on board with Rexy boy, the race leader, seeing what he can do. See if we can get some cinematic images there, guys. It makes it look for a little bit better, doesn't it? A little bit more appealing. Trying to keep my eyes on these gaps as well to make sure I don't miss any overtakes. So let's have a look at C-Mac and Badman, because they are very, very close now to Drauga, and I think the pair of them are going to be preparing an assault. Let's have a look at C-Mac first of all, since he is the closer car, and I think he deserves a little bit of coverage. Yeah, he's going to get him here. Drauga just had no fight in him there. There was nothing that they could do. Very clean, but he's lost a little bit of time on his exit there. Will that give Drauga a chance to fight back? So Badman has got him as well. So Badman is potentially going to go up the inside here. Let's see what he does, whether he's brave enough. Oh. It looks like Drauga compromised himself trying to fight for that position. We mentioned it earlier in the race that fighting for those positions can end up being costly because Drauga is currently out of DRS range with very little ERS. Badman's absolutely fully sending it here, and I'm pretty sure that come the end of the lap, Badman is going to be another position higher up the field. So Scott and Ernie have got a little bit of a battle going on here. Wow, we look like, wow, what on earth has happened there? That was Mr. White Shadow. For one moment, I thought it was Clen. I thought Clen had absolutely lost it. Is that going to be enough to bring out the safety car? It doesn't look like it. It looks like racing's going to continue. That certainly would have given a few people a fright, that's for sure. So somewhere in the middle of all that, G-Dot has managed to get in front of Matty Pitt. So has Matty Pitt been caught up in something, or has it just been natural racing? I guess that's one thing we'll find out after the race. That seemed to be a terrible exit from Matty Pitt there, so maybe his tyres are starting to struggle already. Yeah, he really seems to be struggling for grip there. Yeah, he just cannot hang on to the back of G-Dot. No DRS to give him that little boost up there either. And he has got Badman breathing down the back of his neck. Badman's only 4.5 seconds up the road, but he does have that advantage of not having a time penalty. Clen is now right on the tail of Rexy Boy, and it could be the barrage of positions that Rex is about to lose on the next couple of laps. Rex's tyres are going to be under some immense pressure for the next 5 laps, or next 4 laps I should say. Let's see if we can get a cinematic overtake. There he goes. Clen is right hot on the heels of him, and he is absolutely going to try and send it down the inside there. And Rex is fighting back with everything he's got in his arsenal. But Clen's got past him with a relative degree of ease. So yeah, these two have got a little bit of breathing space, but then Scott and Ernie are coming charging down, and I think Scott and Ernie are going to be very, very close to getting Rexy Boy, but Rexy might have that 3-second time penalty advantage over Ernie, so that could come back to be his secret weapon to get him onto that podium. He could really do with a little bit of help from Clen actually to give him DRS, and they could work together. So Badman has really taken chunks out of Matty Pitt here. Matty Pitt's tyres must be screaming. Badman is probably going to be within DRS range, I would imagine, by the time they get to the start-finish straight. Yeah, he's there already. He's already there. Matty's tyres just cannot hang on through those fast corners. It's far too many Gs, far too much G-force. And you should see Badman go flying past Matty here. Yeah, it's going to be easy, unfortunately. It's going to be easy. And next in Badman's sights is going to be G-Dot. But G-Dot does have a slight advantage. There we go, guys. This is getting interesting. Scotty's going to now be mounting an attack on Rexy, boy. Come on, Rexy. Put in the graft, mate. This is where the championship hours come into play. These are the real championship laps. These are the ones that are going to be the ones that determine whether you're on the podium or not. And Scott has got past him there. Rexy just needs to sit behind him now and make sure that he hangs on to DRS, because Rexy is going to be on the third step. You can see there, Ernie's 5 seconds behind with a 3-second time penalty. So he's essentially 8 seconds behind Rexy with only 2 racing laps to go. So Rexy has made me out to be an absolute genius by saying that he's wonderful at looking after his tyres. He's proved me to be right, and I am always right. So thank you, Rexy. I appreciate that, mate. And he's doing wonderful there. He's just hanging in behind Scott. Just needs to make sure that he stays nice and close to him. Keep him within that DRS range. Matty Pitts lost a further position there to C-Mac. It does look like we're going to have a little bit of a last lap battle between Mr. G-Dot and Badman. It looks like something could be about to go off. Matty and Drauga, have they swapped around now? I believe so. It looks like they've both lost a lot of time though, so maybe that swap around wasn't the wisest thing they could do. But Rexy is now without that DRS range, but with only 1 lap to go, he should have 8.5 seconds in the bag and not need to worry. If G-Dot can get his skates on, he might be able to push up into 4th. Because it looks like Ernie is struggling a little bit. But there comes Badman. Badman's going to fancy himself for 5th place here. G-Dot harvesting every little ounce of battery he can out of that for ERS. He's only got 10%, but they're equal. Is the DRS advantage going to be enough? Is it going to be enough? No, he's going to hang back. He's going to sit tight behind him. This is what we want to see, guys. Racing right up until the finish line. Nice, clean, proper battles. This is a fantastic stuff. Come on, boys. Give us a big last lap. This is what we want. So we've got Clen now just racing down to the last lap. I'm keeping a look on his, to the last corner. We'll see what he's got there. We don't want to miss this overtake. Let's give him his flowers as he crosses the line. Still, come on. Sorry, mate, but Badman is far too close. We've got to get back on board with Badman. We cannot miss this overtake attempt. This will be a massive win in terms of positions for Badman if he can do this. They're going neck and neck. Badman's sending it. He's gone all the way round. Is he going to hang on? He has kept tight. He's going to do it. And he is going to take that position. Fan-bloody-tastic, boys. That is what we want to see. Incredible. So there we go, guys. Let's go down the field. We've got your race leader, race winner, Clem, followed closely by Scott Leslie, Mr. Rexy Boy. Then we have Ernie, Badman, G-Dot, C-Mac, Drauga, Matthew Pitt, John, and finally White Shadow. White Shadow crossing with all the penalties he could possibly imagine. 46 seconds. That has got to be a race record. I don't think we've ever had a 46-second penalty before. But there we go. Let's ride on board with him as he crosses the line. Oh, and he's lost it. Oh, he nearly went for a DNF on the last lap, on the very last corner. He's going to finish up in the pit lane. I think that might be the best place for him. But there you have it, guys. That is the end of the race, which I am bloody over the moon about because my voice is going. I've got a cough, I've got a cold. I don't know how to commentate. I've managed to waffle on for around about 35, 40 minutes, and I hope you've enjoyed it. But I won't be commentating on a regular basis. It will just be a every now and again thing. Hopefully I'll be back to racing next week maybe, but we'll see what happens from there. But all the best, guys. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and yeah, give me a like, comment and subscribe and all that YouTube jazz.